All right, so collecting the data is going to happen one of the following two ways. If you're collecting your data off of the internet, looking up statistics on sport players or something like that, then you're going to be able to collect the data yourself, and you're not going to need to do this survey part. So you can actually skip to the next video where I just talk about how to get the stuff into Excel in a good way so that it's very useful and easy to work with. All right. So if you have to make a survey, and this is something if you're collecting any kind of information from individuals, such as my fake project that I do, all my work with it, you'll see in all these videos as I compare people's age and gender to how many pairs of shoes they own. So I'll be making surveys and things for that throughout all of the videos that you see here. Okay, so if you need to collect data with a survey, you obviously have the option of making it on paper, making some copies of it. Me or Ms. Shenek or your other teacher can help you make those copies. But that's typically a difficult way to do it because you need a lot of data. And I mean, you can easily send a survey link out to as many people as you want through a text message or Instagram or any other type of situation where someone can take it right on their phone or computer and make it easy. So this is the way that I would suggest that you do all of your surveys. I'm going to make a survey in Microsoft Teams, and then I'll be able to take a link and I'll be able to send that to anybody that I want to. I can post it on, like I said, I can post it on Instagram and let anybody take it that's there, and it'll let me collect a lot of data. Some things to consider before you do this. All right. Number one, you need data that represents what you're looking at. So if you're, say, with my situation, I'm collecting data on gender and age versus how many pairs of shoes somebody owns. So if I only had data, if I had surveys and I only gave them to males, and then all my data came back as males, that would skew my data and it wouldn't be any good. So I have to think about things like this as I am sending my surveys out, that I'm getting a good representation of the data that I want. If you were looking at grades of people in school right now, you don't want to really be sending your data out or your survey out to people who are in their 40s because that's not going to help you. So you want to think about things like that as you're giving your surveys out. Second thing is we got to have good questions. All right. They shouldn't be leading. They shouldn't be trying to get people to answer a certain way. They don't need to be overly long. They want to be short, to the point, very clear descriptions of anything that needs to be explained. And I always say this, if you're I had someone last year do a rating of happiness, 1 through 5. You got to explain what a 1 is, what a 2 is, what a 3 is, what a 4 is, and what a 5 is in a very clear, short way so people can give you an accurate number. All right. Make sure your choices, if it's multiple choice, make sure they're good and that they cover all bases, and that it's possible that there's one there that somebody wants, maybe need an other thing where people can type in an other selection. If you get some data that's no good, you can always toss that data out. And we got to make sure that we have things like that. And then the last thing is, remember, you're writing a paper on this. So you want to keep information, notes for yourself someplace on how you picked your questions. How did you decide on what options to have? Did you make changes to it because you were worried about questions being biased or possibly people not wanting to answer certain questions? So we got to think about all these things as we get into it. All right, so the next video right underneath here will show you how to go into Teams and actually create your survey.